Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Happy Hustle live show, episode 14. And today we are going to talk about affirmations. So this is a lunchtime show if you're watching it live. And the reason for that is that I have a virtual classroom that I'm running this afternoon and it won't finish until about 5. And I'll get my hair done right away. And I don't know what time I'm going to be back later. So I thought I would just pop on and do a little lunchtime show instead of an evening show. So I'm not sure if there's many people will be able to make it live today. The other tech challenge that's happening this week is that Facebook Messenger messages aren't really working properly. So normally I would send out a message to everybody who has registered to say, I'm just about to go live, and people would then click on, but I'm not able to do that. So I probably, Angela, yeah. I was just going to say, Angela, I felt, Gervais, yay. I felt like I might have just been talking to myself today, which would have been totally fine because I know lots of people watch it on catch up. But Angela and Gervais, thank you so much for coming to join me. Right, so today I want to talk about affirmations, and this is inspired by the affirmations that you guys have been sharing in the Happy Side Hustlers group. So I see, Gervais, that you have literally just shared an affirmation in the last half hour. So I really appreciate you doing that. So lovely Gillian, who does the regular posts for me in the free group, has put a request for motivational posts. And underneath, now this is only gone in, what time did Gillian do that? Just first thing this morning, so 9 o'clock this morning. So there are a few gorgeous affirmations that are already in there. I suspect this post will gather momentum through the day. I just want to talk about why it's important to focus on affirmations and what the benefit is. So the first affirmation that's being recorded in the group from Nisha is start over as many times as it takes to get it right. That is just such a brilliant life mantra. The reason that affirmations are important is that we're always talking to ourselves. We're always telling ourselves stories. And for those of you that have followed me for a while, listened to me for a while, you'll know that a lot of those stories come from when we were very young. And when we were very young, we just accepted what we were told as truth. So as adults, we're walking around with a lot of beliefs about ourselves that aren't necessarily true and definitely aren't necessarily helpful. You've already listened to it. Oh, fantastic, Angela. Oh, hi, Margaret Ann. Yes, so I have just recorded some affirmations for the mastermind guys, and they are ones that first of all, I see coming up over and over again when I'm coaching people who are setting up a side hustle generally, but also there are ones that I have to remind myself about as well. So that's what's in my head because of that post this morning, and I've literally just recorded some affirmations. If you're not in the mastermind, don't worry, you can easily do these yourself. And an affirmation is just something that is the opposite of the negative things you tell yourself. So for example, if you have in your head that you're not confident, so a lot of people say to me, whether it's through the 5-day challenge or in the Happy Hustlers group or in the mastermind, a lot of people have the same challenge where they go, I'm just not sure I'm good enough. I'm not sure my work is good enough. So say it's somebody that's making a product. I'm not sure it's as good as other people out there. And that's not helpful. So it's not helpful to be telling yourself repeatedly, I'm not sure it's good enough, because your brain is constantly needs to be right. So confirmation bias is where your brain filters all the information that comes in and looks for all the reasons to prove what you already believe. So I guess a really good example of this is your Facebook algorithm, because Facebook works like that as well. So if you interact or comment or, like even click like on a post that is a particular, say a particular political view, then Facebook will provide you with more posts like that because it knows that you're more likely to interact and that's something that you're maybe going to be interested in. So that's how the algorithm works in Facebook, but it's also how the algorithm works in life. So when you decide that you're not good enough at something, or let me take a more general example. When you decide that you are clumsy, and again, I hear people saying this, and I'm sure I have said this about myself in the past, but I wouldn't say it now. If you say you're clumsy, you will go through your day and your life looking for evidence that you're clumsy because your brain has this natural kind of need to be right. So I'm clumsy, therefore, oh look, I nearly tripped over that pavement, or what am I like? I missed the last stair or whatever. Whereas somebody who doesn't define themselves as clumsy wouldn't incorporate that into their identity. So they just go, oh, I can't believe I did that. But I'm not clumsy. I don't normally do things like that. And genuinely, since actually, this is sort of coming back. I've just plucked clumsy from nowhere, but I did used to fall over a lot. It was quite ridiculous, actually. And it became so a bit of a long story, but what happened was I was I was on holiday with my husband and some other friends, other couple friends, and we were walking along, and there was this like hole. Now it wasn't really deep. It's going to sound more dramatic than it was. But as we were walking along, I was so busy chatting that I wasn't looking where I was walking, and I fell down this hole. And I wasn't injured, like it was funny. But literally everybody else was walking along, and then I just wasn't there. And actually they tell the story much better than me because I was kind of in it anyway. So my friend, for example, was in the middle of a conversation with me, and she'll tell the story that I just disappeared. And anyway, that became so it becomes a repeating story because it was funny. It genuinely was funny. But then it sort of became my identity because I would go, oh my goodness, I'm always doing that. And then they would go, oh, there's a hole over there, Julie, just watch because you're the sort of person that falls down holes. And for a while, because it was a joke, really, I sort of identified with that. But I genuinely did keep falling over because I was nearly looking out for places to fall, and it sounds ridiculous. But just thinking about telling you this story, like as soon as I started working on affirmations and limiting beliefs and stuff, I got rid of anything that wasn't serving me, or at least I'm in the process of getting rid of it. Of course, nothing's ever finished and it's not perfect. But I wouldn't identify myself as clumsy, and I wouldn't say that to people. And I haven't done that for a long time. And I'm also thinking, I haven't actually fallen for a long time. So there's a little powerful example that I didn't even realize I had. But the thing is, when you're walking around saying my stuff isn't as good as everybody else's, then you're seeing the world through a filter. So you're looking at other people's and you're going, wow, look, they've got, really neat hand stamped stuff, which would have been where I was comparing myself with when I first set up Theta Jewelry. There were other people doing it more neatly. There were other people with more expensive fonts than me. There were people that were using better equipment than me. There were people that were using higher quality metals than me. And I could have looked at all of that and gone, well, there's no place in the market for me and I'll never be as good as that, so I won't start. But actually, I chose to go, wow, okay, there's a lot of people in this market, which must mean that there are a lot of customers. I genuinely believe there's unlimited opportunities in the world. There's nothing where, there's never anyone that says to me, my side hustle idea is this, and I go, oh no, there's already people doing that, so there's no place for you. Remember, we're bringing ourselves, we're bringing our version of something, we're bringing our energy, our love, our creativity to the world, our gift. So there's never a scenario where it's not good enough. So if you had that, for example, in your head, then your affirmation needs to be, I am enough, I am good enough, or whatever totally resonates with you. And there's such a power in repeating and repeating and repeating affirmations, because affirmations are the opposite of what you've been telling yourself for years. So it's super important to notice when things come up for you. So when you have and I keep using the word wobble, and it's not necessarily a word that I use, but it's a word that I've heard a lot of people that I coach in side hustles use. They'll say, oh, I'm having a wobble this week, so I want to try and use that word to see if that resonates with you. But when you're having a wobble, or just any sort of doubt, any moment where you're going, oh, I'm not sure. And for people in the mastermind who are in the first round of the mastermind, this is the week where we're really launching. We're getting a date. We're going to tell friends and family. It starts to become really, really real. And this is the point where a lot of people go, oh, all of a sudden I'm procrastinating a little bit. I'll maybe do that. I'll maybe jump back in next time, and I'll do that in a few weeks. I'm just not quite ready because I've all got, and a lot, some of that can be genuine. Often it's because people are like, oh, just starting to feel the fear or the doubt or the uncertainty or whatever the word is for you. It is so important to go, okay, what is this? What is holding me back? And it can be really good to journal that. Just literally just write it down, and go, what is it? What is actually coming up for me here? What am I afraid of? What is the fear? And when you go, okay, well, I'm afraid that my family might think it's ridiculous that I'm bringing a side hustle to market, or whatever it is, then your affirmation would be, my family and friends support me in my side hustle. And you repeat it to yourself, and you repeat it to yourself. And it's great practice to do every morning, or just any time where there's like a trigger isn't the right word, but there's anything that you do every day that you could associate with your affirmations. So you could do them, you could think them to yourself as you're brushing your teeth. You could say them out loud in the shower. You could record them and listen to them before you get out of bed in the morning. And for those of you in the mastermind, I've just popped a recording in there that you could start with. So you could listen to mine, and they might totally resonate with you, in which case just listen to mine. I mean, I literally recorded it's 2 minutes, 22 seconds. And that's very satisfying because, as many of you know, I love a repeating number. So I didn't mean it to be 2 minutes, 22 seconds, but that's what it is. Now, how easy is it to find 2 minutes, 22 seconds in your life, in your day, in your world? But as I say, you can record these yourself, or you can just say these. There's a real power in not only thinking them, but when you can, saying them out loud. So you can write them down on a bit of paper. You can read them to yourself before you get up. You can read them to yourself before you go to bed. You have been saying the negative things that are going on, the things that are holding you back, the blocks, the obstacles. You have been saying those things to yourself for probably a lifetime. Saying the affirmations once isn't going to change everything, but saying them 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, repeating them is going to start to create new neural pathways in your brain. It is so important to get your side hustle moving, to make sure that you're at the same time in parallel working on your mindset, because that is the one thing where I see people going, oh, like absolutely on fire. And then all of a sudden there's a block, there's something that happens, and then the action stops. And sometimes it's not even conscious. It'll be like, oh, all of a sudden I've got really busy and I need to just drop out of it for now, and I'll come back into it again. If you don't work on your mindset, you don't necessarily find that place again where you're able to jump back in with the same energy. Where are the affirmation recordings? Jorbe, I have just uploaded them into the mastermind group, so you will find them in there. They're in the units if you can't find them in the discussion. So let's just go back to the affirmations that have been shared in the Hustler group today. So we did niches. Debbie shared an image which I absolutely love, which is, it's all about the way you look, and it's just two women, and one of them with kind of her hair blowing all over her face, and one of them with her hair back, and one of them is in the sunshine and the other one's in the dark. And it really is, you constantly have a choice. In every moment you have a choice as to how you're going to react to things, and life is not always perfect, and sometimes things are sent to test you, and I am having some challenges already this week because Facebook Messenger isn't working, and that's going to be a total nightmare if it doesn't get sorted pretty quickly, because I have my next Find Your Perfect Side Hustle Idea Challenge starting on Monday. And if I can't tell people about it and tell them, oh, it's going to... So anyway, the affirmation is, for me, Facebook Messenger will resolve and everything will be as it should be next week. It'll be perfect. So as I say, it's not, once you come up with affirmations, you'll constantly be tweaking them and adjusting them and adding in additional ones. I am genuinely happy the majority of the time, but it's not that life still doesn't throw curveballs at me, because it does. But it's about, I always recognize I've got a choice. I always recognize I've got a choice as to how I'm going to react. So Sarah Louise put one which says, every Monday is a chance to start a fabulous new week. I feel affirmations are even more important on a Monday morning. I think you can do them any morning, but today I find them really, really uplifting, which is what inspired me to create them for my lovely mastermind people. Dawn shared quote of the day: if your present circumstances don't determine where you can go, they merely determine where you start. That's just so beautiful, Dawn, because life is unlimited, isn't it? There is unlimited abundance out there. Just because you are starting a side hustle, you're not taking any opportunity away from anybody else. Absolutely not. You're just creating an additional opportunity for yourself and for the world. And then the one that you just shared, Jorbe, which is brilliant. Most people are paralyzed by fear. Overcome it, and you take charge of your life and your world. So powerful, so powerful. And I think the recognition, what's so beautiful, Jorbe, that just because you push through it doesn't mean you don't have fear, but it is going back to the feel the fear and do it anyway. Because when you're afraid of something, when it's pushing you out of your comfort zone, it's taking you on the journey to your dream life. And you're not going to regret. What is there to regret? There's nothing that you can do in terms of pursuing your side hustle that you're going to regret. It's not all going to go perfectly. You're not going to get it right every single time, but you're not going to regret it, because every single step you take forward is an action to get you closer to where you want to be, to what you dream of. Sometimes things will be perfect. Sometimes there'll be a learning. But either way, you're taking action, and those just one tiny daily action build up over a week, a month, a year, a lifetime. Work on your own affirmations. Work out every time you feel that there's some sort of negativity, there's some sort of block, work out how to turn it into what's the opposite of that. When you're constructing an affirmation, you want to start with something like I am, this is. You have to say it in the present tense. You don't want to say at some point in the future this is going to happen. You go, I am a powerful creator. I have a successful side hustle. I am confident. Regardless of whether you're feeling it or not, when you write it, you want to write them in the present tense. And then really importantly, you want to focus on feeling it. So when you're saying those affirmations, you don't want to go, yeah, I'm confident. I'm a confident person. You want to go, okay, how would I say this if I was confident? And how would I feel? And really tap into that feeling. Each day when you spend just a short amount of time, as I say, mine's 2 minutes, 22 seconds, a short amount of time saying out loud a series of affirmations and really feeling them, you will notice your energy shift, you'll notice your vibration getting higher, and you'll notice changes in your life. So go out and try it. I need to go because I need to run a virtual classroom that's going to start very shortly. But thank you. I really appreciate those of you that have come and hung about with me at this totally random time. And for anybody else watching on catch up, if you've got any questions, please just pop them below this video and I will check back in later. Remember, the next Side Hustle Challenge starts on Monday, so a week today. You're all welcome to come and join in again. But if you have any friends or family, any like-minded people that you think might enjoy the challenge, please invite them. Share the link that's along with this video. I would be so super grateful if you could get the word out there, because more joyful side hustles, more joy in the world. Remember, we're going to ultimately get world peace through this. Right, take care, everybody. Have a lovely week, and I will be back. Just trying to think. Yeah, I should be back at the normal time on Thursday. I'll be back on Thursday at some point. It will either be lunchtime or evening, but I definitely will do a show on Thursday. So look out for that. You can click get notifications on the Facebook page to say once you click into a live video, it normally says, do you want to be notified the next time Julie goes live? So that might be a good way to do it while Facebook is not playing up. And in the meantime, I will try and get all the tech demons sorted in the background. Right, take care.